Great day, good people. This is Mr. James coming to you from my home office in San Leandro, California. This is the first of the videos of the e-commerce package. Very powerful. I'm going through it myself, put it in play. I highly recommend you do the exact same thing. Check out this video. Click the link up under this video to go over to the blog site and download your own copy. Have a great day. This is one of multiple videos in the package. Talk to you soon and good luck.
Why you should start your own e-commerce business. Hello, welcome and thanks for choosing this video. In this video, we're going to talk about why you should start your own e-commerce business. So without further ado, let's start our module. First of all, what is e-commerce? Electronic commerce is a powerful concept and process that has fundamentally changed the current of human life. Electronic commerce is one of the main criteria of revolution of information technology and communication in the field of economy. This style of trading, due to the enormous benefits for humanity, has spread rapidly. It certainly can be claimed that electronic commerce has canceled many of the limitations of traditional businesses. For example, form and appearance of traditional business has fundamentally changed. These changes are a basis for any decision in the economy. Existence of virtual markets, passages, and stores that have not occupied any physical space, allowing access and circulation in these markets for a moment and anywhere in the world without leaving home is possible. Select and order goods that are placed in virtual shop windows at unspecified parts of the world, and also are advertising on virtual networks, and payment is provided through electronic services. All of these options have been the cause that electronic commerce is considered the miracle of our century. Interaction between communication systems, data management systems, and security, which because of them exchange commercial information in relation to the sale of products or services, will be available. So the definition, the main components of electronic commerce are communication systems, data management systems, and security. There are many various classifications of electronic commerce and many different methods to characterize these clusters. Academics determined a number of frameworks for classifying electronic commerce, but each one I want to illustrate from a unique perspective. The main different classes of electronic commerce are business-to-business, B2B, business-to-consumer, B2C, consumer-to-consumer, C2C, consumer-to-business, C2B, and mobile commerce, M-commerce. B2B. Business-to-business is a type of commerce transaction that exists between businesses, or a transaction that occurs between a company and other company to transfer of services and products. A possible explanation for this might be that business-to-business includes online wholesaling, in which businesses sell materials, products, and services to other businesses on their websites. B2C. Business to consumer refers to transactions between a business and its end consumer, and so it creates electronic storefronts that offer information, goods, and services between business and consumers in a retailing transaction, or it is an internet and electronic commerce model that indicates a financial transaction or online sale between business and consumer. C2B, consumer to business, is the transfer of services, goods, or information from persons to business, or it is a business model where end users create products and services that are used by businesses and institutions. C2C, consumer to consumer, is an electronic internet facilitated medium which involves transaction among users, and it is a business model which two consumers deal business with each other directly. M-commerce. The term mobile commerce was invented in 1997 to aim the buying and selling of products, information, and services via wireless, handheld devices, such as cellular phones, laptops, and personal digital assistants. These wireless devices interact with computer networks that have the ability to conduct online merchandise purchases. Mobile commerce allows users to access the internet and shop in it without needing to find a place to plug in. Mobile commerce transactions continue to improve, and the phrase includes the purchase and sale of a wide range of products and services, online banking, bill payment, information delivery, and so forth. The reason, as you shall see, is that e-commerce technology is different and more powerful than any of the other technologies we've seen in the past century. While these other technologies transformed economic life in the 20th century, the evolving internet and other information technologies will shape the 21st century. Prior to the development of e-commerce, the process of marketing and selling goods was a mass marketing and sales force-driven process. Consumers were viewed as passive targets of advertising campaigns, and branding blitzes intended to influence their long-term product perceptions and immediate purchasing behavior. Selling was conducted in well-insulated channels. Consumers were considered to be trapped by geographical and social boundaries, unable to search widely for the best price and quality. Information about prices, costs, and fees could be hidden from the consumer, creating profitable information asymmetries for the selling firm. Below are the 7 unique features of e-commerce technology that make some good reasons for you to start your own e-commerce business. Ubiquity. In traditional commerce, a marketplace is a physical place you visit in order to transact. For example, television and radio typically motivate the consumer to go to some place to make a purchase. E-commerce, in contrast, is characterized by its ubiquity. It is available just about everywhere at all times. It liberates the market from being restricted to a physical space and makes it possible to shop from your desktop, at home, at work, or even from your car using mobile commerce. The result is called market space, a marketplace extended beyond traditional boundaries and removed from a temporal and geographic location. From a consumer point of view, ubiquity reduces transaction costs, the costs of participating in a market. To transact, it is no longer necessary that you spend time and money traveling to a market. At a broader level, the ubiquity of e-commerce lowers the cognitive energy required to transact in a marketplace. Global reach. E-commerce technology permits commercial transactions to cross cultural and national boundaries, far more conveniently and cost-effectively than is true in traditional commerce. As a result, the potential market size for e-commerce merchants is roughly equal to the size of the world's online population. The total number of users or customers an e-commerce business can obtain is a measure of its reach. In contrast, most traditional commerce is local or regional. It involves local merchants or national merchants with local outlets. Television and radio stations and newspapers, for instance, are primarily local and regional institutions with limited but powerful national networks that can attract a national audience. In contrast to e-commerce technology, these older commerce technologies do not easily cross national boundaries to a global audience. Universal standard. One strikingly universal feature of e-commerce technologies is that the technical standards of the Internet, and therefore the technical standards for conducting e-commerce, are universal standards. They are shared by all nations around the world. In contrast, most traditional commerce technologies differ from one nation to the next. For instance, television and radio standards differ around the world, as does cell telephone technology. The universal technical standards of the Internet and e-commerce greatly lower market entry costs, the cost merchants must pay just to bring their goods to market. At the same time, for consumers, universal standards reduce search costs, the effort required to find suitable products, and by creating a single one-world marketplace where prices and product descriptions can be inexpensively displayed for all to see, price discovery becomes simpler, faster, and more accurate. And users of the Internet, both business and individuals, experience network externalities, benefits that arise because everyone uses the same technology. With e-commerce technologies, it's possible for the first time in history to easily find many of the suppliers, prices, and delivery terms of a specific product anywhere in the world, and to view them in a coherent, comparative environment. Although this is not necessarily realistic today for all or many products, it's a potential that will be exploited in the future. Now let's move on to the remaining 4 unique features of e-commerce. Richness. Information richness refers to the complexity and content of a message. Traditional markets, national sales forces, and small retail stores have great richness. They are able to provide personal face-to-face service using oral and visual cues when making a sale. The richness of traditional markets makes them a powerful selling or commercial environment. Prior to the development of the web, there was a trade-off between richness and reach. The larger the audience reach, the less rich the message. Interactivity. Unlike any of the commercial technologies of the 20th century, with the possible exception of the telephone, e-commerce technologies allow for interactivity, meaning they enable a two-way communication between merchant and consumer. Television, for instance, cannot ask viewers any questions or enter into conversations with them, and it cannot request that customer information be entered into a form. In contrast, all of these activities are possible on an e-commerce website. Interactivity allows an online merchant to engage a consumer in ways similar to a face-to-face experience, but on a much more massive global scale. Information density. The Internet and the web vastly increase information density. The total amount and quality of information available to all market participants, consumers and merchants alike. E-commerce technologies reduce information collection, storage, processing, and communication costs. At the same time, these technologies increase greatly the currency, accuracy, and timeliness of information, making information more useful and important than ever. As a result, information becomes more plentiful, less expensive, and of higher quality. A number of business consequences result from the growth in information density. In e-commerce markets, prices and costs become more transparent. Price transparency refers to the ease with which consumers can find out the variety of prices in a market. Cost transparency refers to the ability of consumers to discover the actual costs merchants pay for products. Personalization, customization. E-commerce technologies permit personalization. Merchants can target their marketing messages to specific individuals by adjusting the message to a person's name, interests, and past purchases. The technology also permits customization, changing the delivered product or service based on a user's preferences or prior behavior. Given the interactive nature of e-commerce technology, much information about the consumer can be gathered in the marketplace at the moment of purchase. With the increase in information density, a great deal of information about the consumer's past purchases and behavior can be stored and used by online merchants. The result is a level of personalization and customization unthinkable with existing commerce technologies. For instance, you may be able to shape what you see on television by selecting a channel, but you cannot change the content of the channel you have chosen. In contrast, the online version of the Wall Street Journal allows you to select the type of news stories you want to see first, and gives you the opportunity to be alerted when certain events happen.